Well, welcome back. Today we're talking about parallel and perpendicular lines from Mr. Glynn's math notes. This is actually, I believe, number 2 from your homework. So getting a free answer, you're welcome. Let's get it going. It's going to give you a point it wants both of your lines to go through. And then it gives you the original line of y equals 7/8 x minus 3. Notice this is in slope-intercept form already. So you know the old slope, or at least you should. The old slope is 7/8. Well, using the information we learned yesterday, parallel lines have same slope, perpendicular has opposite reciprocal. So your parallel slope is going to be the exact same. If it's 7/8 in the original, it's going to be 7/8 in our new parallel line. And we already have the point, 4, -10. So the beautiful thing is, there's this form called point slope form. And we just so happen to have a point and a slope. So let's put them in. We'll get a y plus 10 equals 7/8 times the quantity x minus 4. So far so good, but we can't graph that yet. Your homework actually asked you to put it into slope-intercept form. As we've talked, the strategy there is to get y all alone. So let's go through that. Fractions, we are not afraid, okay? You know how to do this, you just don't want to. So be quiet and work. Here we go. Distribute the 7/8. You get y plus 10 equals 7/8 x minus, don't lose the sign, 2 fractions here, guys. Tops, bottoms. 28 over 8. If you'd like, you can reduce at this step. I'm deciding to wait till the end. But feel free to reduce at this step if you'd like. Notice we can reduce everything by 4. All right, it's almost isolated. Got to subtract the 10. Again, fraction subtraction should not scare you. Yes, that was a rhyme. 10 over 1, we got to make the bottom 8, so we're going to subtract 80 over 8. That's the equivalent of 10 over 1. So we arrive at y equals 7/8 x minus, that's a big number, 108 over 8. I have no idea where that is in the graph, so I should probably reduce, okay? Couple ways to reduce, and you pick your favorite. I'm just going to think about what number goes into both of these to get a smaller fraction, and then I'm going to go about actually making it into a mixed number. So we stated earlier that 4 went into this. 4 also goes into 108. So if it goes into 8 twice, how many times do you go into 108? Easy math. Think quarters. So it goes into 125 times, and that's 2 more 4s. So it is 27. Is everybody with 108 over 8 became 27 over 2. And now I'm going to make a mixed number because I like seeing that on the graph. Final slope-intercept for my parallel line. Y equals 7/8 x minus 2 goes into 27 13 times with 1 remaining. That was a lot of work. But you know how to do it. You know exactly how to do it step by step. Just don't stop, okay? We're half done. Parallel is done. Perpendicular is where we're started. Perpendicular is not the same. It is the opposite reciprocal. Or in the streets, they call it the flip and switch. Okay? You flip the fraction, you switch the sign. So my new slope is -8/7. The good news, you get to use the same point. 4 -10. Oh, we have a point and a slope again. Start with point slope. We get y plus 10 equals -8/7 times the quantity x minus 4. I'm going through that quickly. That should be old hat by now. You should know how to do that without hesitation. Now's the nasty part. Fractions. Those mother fractions. Let's get it. If we distribute the -8/7, we get a -8/7 x, negative, don't lose that, plus 32 over 7. Negative times a negative. You should know that, but some of you are still making those mistakes. Almost done. Isolate y. Minus the 10. But in this case, we have to subtract 10, and instead of 10 over 1, I'm going to subtract 70 over 7. It's the equivalent ratio to get common denominators. So, y equals -8 over 7x. Notice we have a positive 32 and a -70. This gives us a -38 over 7. Again, now we talked about this in class. I would always leave my slope as an improper fraction. 1 rise over 1 run. I don't know where 38 over 7 is. I apologize if that disappoints you. I have no idea where that is. A mixed number, I can do that all day long. So 7 goes into 38 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35 with 3 remaining. And that is my final perpendicular slope-intercept form. Now we're ready to graph. I'll use the brown for the Dookie smear to graph the perpendicular line, and we'll use the red to show the parallel line. Some of you have been freaking out lately. Well, it's a fraction. So what? Negative 5 3/7. We're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3/7 of the way there. So it's almost at a half. I'm not going to be a stickler. I won't come up to your paper and be like, how dare you, that's 1/2. No, 3/7, that's close enough. Now be careful, you have a negative 8/7. This happens to you sometimes. Well, I can't go down that far. You don't always have to go down and right. You can also go up and left. So I'm going to go up 8, starting from the negative 5 3/7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then left 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to run into our equation a little bit, but that's okay. That's a nice line. All right. Y equals 7/8 x minus 13.5. Now, here's what might happen. So I'm going to be off my grid, and I've already committed to 1, so I just have to continue my grid. If you're smart, smarter than I am, you would look at this before you start graphing. And if it's going to be off your grid, you can count by 2s, right? So instead of going down 13.5, I could have gone down almost 7. Does that make sense if I would have counted by 2s? One second. We're in the middle live, Jack. Sorry. I go down 13.5. If there's 10, 11, 12, 13.5. So I'm right here. Now I'm going up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 8. And we draw a much less impressive line on that one. Quick summary on a very difficult problem involving fractions on how to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form for a parallel and a perpendicular line, and then how to graph it. Enjoy.